with another edition of the Topwater podcast. I just about said scuttlebutt, but that's just because here, shameless plug, I guess. I do a couple of different podcasts. So I do a podcast with my buddy Adam. So if you guys want to check that out, you can go over to the Scuttlebutt Tavern podcast. Me and him sit down and break down fights and break down video games and talk about video. And sometimes we just kind of go off on random tangents, but we mainly stick to the video game model. But yeah, sometimes I get that mixed up in my head to where it's like, you're on the Topwater podcast, and I know I'm supposed to say Topwater, but sometimes I say Scuttlebutt, and it wants to come out. It wants to come out like a bad word that you don't want to say, and you're not supposed to say it, but it's just wanting to come out, just because you don't want to say it. Oh man, but man, today was one of those struggling days. I mean, it didn't start off as a barn burner, and it did not end as a barn burner. And it was just one of those days to where just try what you can. The fish that you caught was the fish that you caught, and that's how today went. And it was rough. I'm not gonna lie, it was rough. Just because it was like I noticed that the water clarity was getting better. So I think the types of lures that I was using kind of weren't working necessarily. And then I moved to an area that was really dirty. Oh man, it was just, I don't know. I'm really just going to have to think about this one. Because I almost feel like I went out there and just screwed the pooch, you know? Like, I really expected myself to go out there and be able to at least get two measurable fish. So, right now, I'm competing in a bass tournament. It's the KBF Challenge Series, Missouri State. So, I'm competing in it right now. Currently, I'm sitting at 9th place. Until it's official. Like, you know, it's right now, everything's just up in the air. You know, we're not going to know the actual standings until the end of the tournament. So right now, it's just, you know, kind of this like weird panic mode. Like, oh no. There's people out there that are catching way bigger bass than I'm catching. And the bass that they're catching that are bigger than mine are much bigger than mine. Well, a good 4 inches. So, to catch first place, it's going to be hard to catch first place. It's going to be hard to catch that guy. It's going to be hard to catch second place. Like first and second, those two guys are going to be hard to catch. But the goal is to make the top 5. I want to make a top 5 finish. Like for sure 100%, that's what I want, is a top 5 finish. And I think I can do it. For sure make a top 5 finish. I might be able to make 3rd, but I mean I'm going to have a kicker or two. Like I'm going to have a 20-inch fish somewhere. You know, and I really don't know where. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to catch that bass. I may have to do some deep cranking that I'm not really used to doing, and it seems like the pattern that I'm running, which is a legitimate pattern in order to catch fish, in order to catch bass, but it's not necessarily a size-oriented catching pattern. I guess that it came out a little bit weird, but you know what I mean. Take a drink. But yeah, so it's just it's hard for me right now to really just be able to break down what exactly that I'm doing wrong. And I think the thing that I'm doing wrong is the time of day, because right now I'm fishing after work. I'm just fishing when I can, you know. It's not necessarily a fishing when you want to. I'm fishing when I can. I get like a couple hour window here, and then that's what I'm doing. I'm fishing for a couple hours, and I'm able to catch one keeper fish. And slowly but surely, I'm starting to build it up. Just slowly but surely. You know, it's not, oh, I get one day a week or anything like that. You know, luckily for me, I live close enough to a public lake to where I can just go there and fish it. And I've fished it long enough to where I actually have some sort of pattern down, and I'm able to actually implement that pattern. And actually, the pattern that I had down, actually even more, like, I actually added to that pattern. So, in a way, it was just, you know, sort of a reaction bite by using an underspin or a chatterbait or some sort of topwater to, like, move across the edges. So if, like, you had an edge here of lily pads or grass, so you have a grass clump here, and here's, like, the edges of it. So I would take that chatterbait and I'd run it right along the edges, and I'd just, like, hang up into that point of grass, or I'd come through right next to that grass. And I think in shallow water, when I have these, like, because there's a couple different grass clumps that I've kind of identified as bass holding grass clumps, and they tend to be on either the inside. Well, they tend to be on the inside of the grass clump, sort of thing. So you have this kind of hump that kind of creates a little bit of an island. It's not quite an island because it's not really out of the water, but it's close enough to being out of the water that, shit, it might as well be. So I'm able to fish the back end of that. So I'm fishing the back end of this island that's right next to the channel, to the main creek channel, well, river channel that runs through it. So as that runs through it, those patches of grass that are up on that hump, that are on the back side of that island, those are the patches that I'm actually focusing on, because those tend to be my high percentage patches of grass. And I think it's because of the way the water has to, like, flow through it. So they're able to tuck up into that grass and ambush stuff as it's coming past it and as it's bumping into it. But it's muddy water. Muddy, 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 muddy. That's okay. It doesn't have to be, you know, crystal clear, pristine, or anything like that. I just got to catch fish. That's really what it comes down to, is I just got to put up numbers. And right now I'm on a steady incline of numbers. So I went from what was it? It was like 13. I think it was like, all right, now I gotta look it up. Because I know I have one 13 and a half and one 14, which the 14 is the one that I caught most recently. But, which the 14 that I caught that's most recently, it's also one of those things to where it could be, you know, there was a shadow that was on on the photo that you can't edit the photo. You can't lighten up the photo. Be like, yeah, see it did. You have to give them the original photo. So it's not like, oop, I don't want to submit catch. I don't have any more bass. Cancel that. Let's go stand-ins. All right. So if we go down to the old Just Nels. Okay, so I have a 3.5, a 3.75, which is 3 2/3. 3 3/4. Not 2/3. 2/3 would be 0.67 or 0.66. Whichever which way you want to go. I think the 0.67 would be the way to go just because you round up. And then, of course, I have my 14-inch bass. So, and that puts me in 9th place. You ready to hear some numbers? First place. Mel Ash. I think that's the guy's name. But 18.5, 18 inches. And then 3 17.75 inch bass. I mean, that's impressive. That's impressive. He's really putting down some numbers. The guy behind him isn't too far behind him. I mean, he's only 5 inches and 5.5 inches away. So if the guy can put up some numbers, he might be able to actually take first place. But the thing is I don't think that the 89.75, he might not be able to best that. Or he might just think, I don't really need to post any more on this one. I got this one in the bag, sort of thing. So, but I mean, I think he's probably going to upgrade. You never know, really. But I'm pretty sure that I'll break into the I might be able to break into the 70s. My goal is to get into the 70s. I want to get into the 70-inch mark of total inches of fish, which is going to be kind of hard to do, but I think I can do it. I think if I just consistently catch decent quality fish, and then every once in a while catch a 2-pounder and a 3-pounder and a 4-pounder, and actually get that quality. Right now, it's just about getting a limit. I'm just trying to get a limit. And I think I'm going to be able to get a limit tomorrow, but I really don't know. I don't know. The way today went, I'm just putting the whole okay. I'm just giving it the wave off, the okay. I see. Teach me a lesson here. Can't just go for broke. But I also think that it was late in the day. That lake just does not do well late in the day. It really does not. I think it's one of those lakes that, since it's shallow through most of the lake, it heats up really quick. And then once it heats up, the bite dies. I mean, it dies. In some of those places, it's warm. It's warm in there. So, you can't do anything about the temperature of the water. I mean, good luck. Throw some ice cubes if you want, but you ain't going to make much of a difference. But, no, I mean, I think tomorrow morning is going to be a much better play and much better for me. And, I think tomorrow I'll actually be able to put some like, I'll be able to limit out. Because all I got to do is catch 2 fish. As long as the last one gets accepted. Because, I mean, it's submitted, but it's kind of in limbo. So at this point right now, it's a toss-up. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with that? I mean, I hope it submits, but it was one of those weird ones to where it's like the shadow of my identifier was shadowing the tail. So I don't think that the tail got an actual, like... So the way I'm going to remedy this is by always using my flash. So that way, when you're holding your phone over the fish and you have shadow going, that flash will at least create some sort of illumination into that shadow. So hopefully the flash will kind of help out more than it hurts. I don't know how that's going to go, but I assume it's going to help more. Like if I'm in a shadowy area and I notice, like, when I take the picture that it's a shadow, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and make sure that I have it flash with it. So that way, whenever I take the picture, I actually get good quality of the fish, of the line, to where the fish is actually touching. Because, I mean, it was touching the 14-inch mark. It was a 14-inch fish. So, you know, I just think that if I do everything in my power in order to make sure that these photos are submitted, then most likely they're going to get submitted. You know, so I don't release the fish just instantly. I actually stick it on lip grippers and put them into the water and let it swim around for a bit and revive. And then check my photos. The thing is the bad thing about checking the photos is half the time I check my photos, and it's really good that I just don't release the fish just off the first try. The second try, I'll release him, because at that point, the fish has been through enough. He needs to, like, go take a break. You know, he's been on some lip grippers. He's been on the fucking measuring board. He's just been there all day. Just like me. I've been on there all day, and now I don't want to deal with this situation. But, you know, whatever. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that... It doesn't matter that it takes a little bit of time, as long as I prioritize the health of the fish. So take my pictures as quick as possible. Try to keep them from squirming out. Which is, the thing is like, I wish I could just tell the fish. I wish I could just communicate to the fish, be like, hey bro, just chill out. Hey, whoa, just chill out there, buddy. You don't need to flop around. I'm taking a picture. I'm going to release you right back. I'm not going to eat you. Don't worry about it. You know? You're going to go right back in. But I can't. I can't tell him that. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that I'm just going to put him right back into the water. And then he's just all flopping around and making it to where I get bad pictures. Well, what good does that do him? Nothing. Doesn't good. Him any good, doesn't do me any good. It does do the guys and gals that I'm competing with good. It does them good. It doesn't do me any good. But, you know, that's, yeah, man. Ugh, today was tough. Oh my God, today was tough. I don't even know where to begin with it. I caught one fish, and I know why I caught it. It's because I hung it up I hung up in some grass with a chatterbait, and I ripped it free, and it just like, ah! And it just attacked it. I was like, yes! That was it. That was it. I mean, I really, when I didn't throw the kitchen sink at it, but I went with the stuff that I thought would work, and it wasn't working. And it was one of those days to where, you just kind of sit there and think, I just need a good day. I just need, like, if I could have had a day like I had the other morning, to where I go out and I'm chatterbait fishing, and boom, 1 bass, boom, 2 bass, boom, 3 bass, all within like a 30-minute period. And then fish a little bit more, boom, 4 bass. And it's like, so within an hour, I had 4 bass. All of them would have measured. All of them would have measured. And now I'm playing the rough game. I'm playing the grind. I'm grinding. That's what it is. It's a grind. I think what it is because I'm tournament fishing. Because I entered into a tournament, and now, since I'm entering into a tournament, I now catch crappie, which I never have caught on this lake before. Never once have I ever caught crappie on this lake. Now I'm catching crappie. Not only am I catching crappie, which is weird because I went from catching catfish occasionally to now catching crappie occasionally. It's shifted. The tides have turned. The crappie are winning. But the crappie, I wish I could have measured in the crappie that, like, one of those crappie that I caught was like, it was a good 13, 14 inch crappie. It was a big crappie. I mean, we're talking like, it was like when I set the hook on that dude, I could have sworn that I hooked into a bass. I didn't think it was a big bass, but I was like, okay, we're catching bass. Here we go. This is a bass. Nope. Crappie. For sure, that was definitely a personal best crappie, which I didn't measure. I just kind of like took pictures and, released it, and, haha, here we go. Have fun. Have fun, guys. But, yeah. I just don't. I think what you're seeing now is frustration. It's frustration because things aren't going the way I want them to. Because I want them to go the way that they are going for first place. And that's not happening to this guy. That's happening to somebody else. This guy's jealous about it. But, yeah. So it causes frustration. I'm frustrated. Because I don't know whether or not I need to pick up and go to a different spot. Pick up and go to a different area, like completely. Maybe instead of like putting in at Springfield Lake, maybe I should put in at the James River access and then fish the James River and try to catch maybe spotted bass. There's a little bit clearer water. But the thing is I've already changed out my gear in order to deal with this like muddy water and, lily pads and just like this hardcore vegetation and just hang ups and snags left and right. And, you want gear for that. You want the gear to be able to hold up to what you're trying to put the standard to. So if I'm dealing with lily pad stems and I'm dealing with, grass, I don't necessarily want 12-pound fluorocarbon. I'll put 20 on there. I'm fishing heavy braid. So if I go from that to fishing clearer water, that means I got to downsize all my stuff by tomorrow. That's not going to happen. What I think what it really comes down to is like, I need to start buying extra spools on the reel. So that way I can take a spool it up, take a little piece of tape, stick it over the top. So that way it holds everything down just as an unspool. But take that spool. Whew. Man, I'm tired. Sorry about the yawning. Because, it's 9:30. I got up this morning and went to work. Yeah, 6 days a week working. Remember that. Fishing a tournament and also working. Boss move. That's what that is. That's a killer move. It's probably not helping me win the tournament, but it's helping my paycheck, that's for sure. But, so, I don't know. It's just, I kind of feel like the time of day that I was fishing, just, I didn't have confidence in what I was really doing, I wasn't getting bites. I wasn't, I'm not the most confident with my flipping technique, feeling bites and making sure that I do have bites. But it's hard for me to like really necessarily just in a way change that up. It's hard for me to like completely abandon a pattern and start trying to do another pattern, which I think now I'm going to fish a little bit differently. There's a couple areas I did identify today that I was like, oh, maybe if I used a different type of technique, or maybe if I used a different type of maybe bait in these certain areas, maybe I would have gotten bit a little bit more. And if I would have got bit a little bit more, maybe I'd already have a limit. And I'd already be a little bit higher in the standings where I am now. But unfortunately, I'm not ranked that high. Well, ninth is in the top 10. Top 10 is important. You want to be in the top 10 always. Unless there's only 9 people, then you want to be in the top 5. If there's 11, you want to be in the top 10. Because you'd be like, finish top 10. They're like, oh, you did? Yeah, I did. Finish the top 10. But, yeah, I don't know. This is a hard one. This is a difficult one. Because I'm really being, like, put on the spot and under pressure in order to either A, change the tactic, or B, just double down and fully commit. Because what I was trying to do is I was trying to get a limit and then go fish a new lake and then see if I couldn't maybe upsize on the new lake. But the problem is I'm not catching a limit. So the fish that I'm catching either aren't the right species or they're not scoreable size, which the fish that I generally catch are scoreable size. They're usually anywhere from 13 to 15 inches. That's kind of like average. And then, of course, there's some monsters running around. I've caught a 24-inch bass out of that lake that I'm fishing currently. So, there is big bass in that lake. The problem is like, I don't know whether or not I can actually find them. It's kind of perplexing. It's I think the strategy is, because right now I'm shallow water, flipping and pitching, busting the grass, and I think that's what everybody does. And I think the better way to go might just be tying on some sort of like square bill or tying on some sort of deep crank, and then deep cranking and square billing around like the deeper areas at this point in time. I think the bass have moved off to the edges, and then the bass that are going to stay shallow are now shallow, and the bass that are moving deep are actually going to continue to moving deep. I almost wish that there was a little bit more water clarity going in. Because if there was a little bit more water clarity, I could use some jerk baits, you know. Unfortunately, there's just, we're talking like inches of clarity. So, jerk baits are just out of the window at this point. But, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Because I could also get some like really flashy jerk baits to where they have a lot of flash to them. So when you're jerking them, they're like, whoop, whoop. Little beacons that are pulsating underneath the water. I don't know. We'll see. This has been... Today has been one of those disheartening days. It's been a disheartening day. It's been a struggle. It's been just kind of one of those days to where it's like, yeah, things should be going right, but they're not. And you're scratching your head and you're trying to figure it out. And I think really what I need now is just to go to bed. Just to go to bed. Just to kind of clear the mind. Just kind of just hit the reset button. Just like, okay, tomorrow we're going to come at this again. We're going to figure it out again. Because now they're starting to be in a different pattern that you're not really used to. Which has... I'm yawning. I got up at like 3:30 this morning, worked from 4:45 until about 10:45. Got on the water about 2, just because I had to come home and do some home stuff and chores and stuff. And then fished from probably about like 2:33, something like that, all the way up until about 7:30. It's been a struggle. And it's not even been one of those days where it's like, oh, you're catching them left, right, here, there. I got one bite. I got one bite, one fish, and there you go. That's what you get. You get one bite, one fish, boom. And that's what you get. But I hate to be the downer and be the bummer and be the guy that's sitting here going, It is what it is. That's fishing. Some days you're going to have hard days. Some days you're not going to catch shit. What do you want to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to make the adjustments? Are you going to get back in there and just keep hammering on and keep grinding and just go for it? Or are you just going to piss and moan? I don't know. It seems like I'm pissing and moaning. I got that piss and moan sort of attitude. But it's been a struggle. It's just been a struggle. And that's what it really is. I'm feeling the grind. I'm really feeling the grind. I'm really feeling the grind, and it's like, it's all I can put up is one bass. Well, you go for whole hog and that's all you can get is one bass. Of course. But oh well. It is what it is, But I mean, I think tomorrow is going to be a little bit better because I'm actually going to get out there early and be able to fish from morning till afternoon or morning till noonish. So I'll actually have a few more hours. So hopefully tomorrow I can actually limit out, which that's only 2 fish. So all I have to do is catch 2 fish over 12 inches tomorrow and then I'm golden. But as far as if the same thing happened today that it happened yesterday, or no, the same thing that happened tomorrow that happened today. Yes. That's what it is. Then yeah. That's but I also notice that other people aren't necessarily posting their limits or their stuff. So there's still quite a few people who haven't really caught anything, but they say they haven't caught anything. They might have caught some stuff. I like posting my stuff just because I think that's the fun part about it, is posting it and seeing where you are. Some people think that it's like some sort of mental game to where it's like, oh, I have this in the bag, so I'm going to coast. No, I mean, it's actually quite the opposite for me. It's like, oh, I'm getting higher in the ranks. That means I need to go harder. I need to keep, because there's going to be some dude with 0 that has a 0, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he has 86 inches or 89 inches or some ridiculous number. All of a sudden out of just nowhere. And I expect that. And I expect those things to happen. So I don't relax. And I think that's kind of a foolish tactic. It's just to not put up numbers until later on. Which, I mean, I guess you can do it. You can do it if you want. Hey, do what you want. Sure, it's your business, it's your stuff. So, I know this has been kind of a draggy episode, because it's been kind of dragging. I feel like I'm dragging ass right now. I mean, for sure. I mean, I'm just exhausted. 100%. So, what I need to do, I need to get some food. I need to cook some food, eat some food, which sucks because it's already almost 10 o'clock. So that means I gotta cook food still and be up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Woo! Burning the candle at both ends on this one. I can tell you that. But, oh well. It is what it is. Maybe if I would have caught 3, if I would have caught 3, I would have gotten off the water sooner. But, oh well. Oh well. You do what you do. You try what you try. And that's all you can really do. So, I'm going to get off of here because I'm hungry as shit. I'm tired as shit. I haven't showered in a couple of days now, which is fucking disgusting. But, like I said, it is what it is. And right now, I am 9th. So, on that note, you guys have a great night, because I'm going to have a great night. Well, no, I'm not having I can't say I'm having a good night. I'm not having a great night, but I'm having a good night. Because it's not bad, because tomorrow I'm going to wake up and go fishing, and I don't even have to fucking work. Hell yeah, my one day off. But I'm going to have a good night. I'm going to eat some food. I'm going to get a little bit of recharge going. I'm going to wake up in the morning, and I'm going to hammer this hard. I'm just going to go hard. Go hard to go home. That's what it is. If you're not first, you're last. No. But I'm going to try to get first. I don't think I will. I don't even think I'm going to get second. That's for sure. I'm not on the path to get second. I'm probably on the track to possibly get 6th or 7th. Like, I think I can move up a couple positions. The goal is to break the top 5. And the ultimate goal is to be number 1. Which, number 1 is going to be hard to do. But you never know. Because I could catch just a giant long bass. You know. They're out there. They're in there. I've caught them before. So that means they're there. So, hell yeah. Well, I'm going to get off of here and do the things I said. Because, well, what else am I going to do? If I don't do that, then all I'm doing is just sitting around with a thumb up my ass. So, it's either a good time or a great time. Alright, well, on that note, you guys have a great night. If you guys want to follow me, you can follow me at Justin_TDP Fishing. You can also follow the other podcast that I do, which is the Scuttlebutt Tavern Podcast. If you want to check that out, it's fighting games. It's just me and my buddy. We're bullshitting around, having some fun. So you can check that out. And if that's sort of the type of thing that you like, then check that out too. And and you can follow that podcast at Scuttlebutt_Tavern_podcast. And there you go. That's it. And you guys have a great night. And I'll see you out on the water. Peace.